I'm back with my 97 TJ. It is December 31st, 2018, and what else would I like to do on the last day of the year than to make a video of all the upgrades over Christmas for you guys. So, as you may notice from the previous video, I didn't have side steps. Got some new 3-inch tubular ones from Red Rock. Pretty awesome. The installation on them was a little difficult right there with that 90-degree joint because the instructions decided to have some pretty weird pictures in there, but overall they're pretty nice. They don't move a whole lot, and you know when you're getting in, as you can hear, it moves the Jeep with it, which is awesome. So they're nice and sturdy, and they help deflect mode a little bit, but who likes that? Here on the inside I have some new grab handles. All the stuff here came from Extreme Terrain. It's pretty nice. They're a little difficult to get on at first with the excess Velcro right there, but you know, once you get that out of the way, it's really sturdy and nice, and I like that. Down here, I added in a mount along with those dogs are barking like crazy, but with a glass breaker and a seatbelt cutter. You know, 2-in-1, pretty nice to have on you if you need to do both. Then again, that's the only glass panel you can really break because getting out of that would be a pain. But you know, if you need it, it'll be there. Up here, I finally took the time to put the visors in, which they fit really nice. And you know, it's Georgia, so it's never sunny when you want it to be, so I haven't had a chance to use them. Good Lord. So, back here on the driver's side, I also have a grab handle and my own visor. When you get in, you'll notice right down here I've just easily mounted a Gerber seatbelt cutter. Yeah, I do have one over here, but having one right here on me is a whole lot more helpful because, you know, if I'm shifting gears up here, straight down to it rather than having to reach all the way over. And if a passenger is using this, then you know I'll have to use this one, which is fine. Back here I have the Bartac fire extinguisher holder. I got it in yellow because you know if you step back and look at the Jeep, you'll immediately notice it. So that's really nice to have. It has a 2.5-pound fire extinguisher, rated ABC for you know, like anything like that if it caught fire, liquids and electrical. So pretty much everything to cover what's in and outside of the Jeep if I'm out on the trail or if I'm camping. Really nice to have. Over here I sort of have temporarily mounted another ammo can, as you've probably seen that one already. This one I just keep a pocket rocket stove along with some instant coffee and just some small stuff like that. Really nice to have. Probably won't ever use it though, but that's nice. Back here, I have a small first aid kit that's shoved back in. I moved the one from up there to a different container and a little more concealed. Not that concealing it is good, but it won't be slinging around all over the place, annoying the passenger and just getting in the way, so that's really nice. This one that I previously mentioned, I have all my rain gear. I've got rainproof pants and a rain jacket because it's always good to have those. And especially right now because it's rained almost every day for the past month here. So it's good to have that on you. Haven't had to use it yet, don't want to. Stuff that I have coming in the mail pretty soon is a new strap to go right there because I've had it a few times where I'll put paracord on there and it just cuts right there and it gets really bad. So having one of the heavier duty straps is going to be a whole lot more helpful. It's going to last longer, be a lot more durable. Up here I got a 9-inch stubby antenna because I find myself on the trail having trees hitting this thing, making it fly everywhere, and it's getting really annoying. So having a stubby antenna on there would be really nice, and it would kind of help. Coming in the mail is a new housing for this headlight because, as I stated in the last video, the previous owner decided to weather seal the adjuster screws down in there, and that's not fun. So I'm gonna get a new one there so I can angle that one and hopefully have that up and running. And the last thing I have in the mail is a CB radio kit. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to mount the CB, whether it be with the Rugged Ridge. It might be Rugged Ridge. Probably it's the only CB mount that they have on extreme terrain, which goes up against there and sits there. Might go there, or I might build something to hang it from there, or just get the mount that they have for the other CB. But it comes with the CB radio, the microphone, and the antenna, along with an 18-foot coax cable. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is taking the antenna and just mounting it right here where I have my flagpole usually. I'm probably going to go back and run that along the entire part there, so I can have the flag on one side, or I might just not have the flag up with it because that would probably get in the way of the antenna. But, you know, hopefully have it mounted here, and then I'll be able to speak with the guys a whole lot easier than using the little handhelds, because, you know, batteries are a pain, and also having to find a place to put that radio is really hard because, you know, out on the trail, I find it either on my seat belt or just sitting in my lap because it's kind of hard to change gears with it. Right now I have a temporary solution. So this right here is my temporary solution for the handheld radio. I took a pop socket and hot glued it. I super glued it to the back, as you can probably see by all these white marks. I super glued it, so, you know, when I'm holding it like that, it'll be a whole lot more steady. Or if I'm shifting gears, I can hold it like this, because holding it like that, I've found myself hitting the radio button a whole lot, or the transmission button, and it just really getting in the way and hard to hold. So being able to balance it on there is going to be a whole lot better. And hopefully, you know, I'll still have these in the Jeep with me in the event that I'll need something other than CB if I have to get out and move. But yeah, so far so good with that. The most recent issue we had with the Jeep was that I came back from the lake one night and I don't have a clicker from the garage, so I had to park right around there. But I usually do that. I couldn't this time because someone was parked right here, so I just had to put it in gear, turn it off, and leave it like that because my parking brake's absolute garbage. I got out, hit the code on that, and went to crank it up, and it would not crank up. Like, nothing would happen. So I tried to pop the clutch going back. That didn't work because there's not enough space. So I got out and tried to jump it. That barely got it running, so I just kind of left it in the driveway for a few minutes until my dad could get off work. That didn't, I don't really know what happened, but I went out to crank it again and that worked, so I drove it back up into the garage, opened it up and took a look at everything. I could not find an issue with it, so I thought, okay, I'll just take it slow and hopefully won't have to do much else. Well, I drove it over to my dad's house in the morning to look at it, and it would not crank up at his house in the driveway. So we ended up looking up everything. We replaced the starter that did have a giant cut in the hot cable going from the solenoid to the actual starter cylinder. So we hoped that would fix it. It didn't. We replaced the starter relay. Well, that was before we changed the starter. We changed the starter relay. That did nothing. So I decided to come up here. I took apart the entire steering column. I replaced the starter switch relay back in there. That didn't do it. So I had pretty much the key piece sticking in the starter switch and my foot on the clutch. Well, none of that was working. So I went down and did the bypass on that clutch sensor. So that kind of worked, but I still didn't know what the issue was. That it was probably something to do with the crankshaft position sensor. So I got up under there, looked at it, and found out that the previous owner decided to cut the socket out of there and put it back with wire nuts. Looked like that. That's where the sensor is currently connected until we can actually get the socket in the mail. It does work, but that wasn't the issue exactly. My dad did take it apart and clean it. He came over here to the starter relay, blew it out with compressed air, and then did that to the entire computer plug-in right up there. and it started cranking. So we guess it was either a bad connection or something to do with that sensor. We still don't really know, but we have the sensor and we're just waiting for the socket part to come in the mail. And then hopefully that will be a whole lot more concrete than it currently is. One of the last things I want to do to this Jeep is this little hole right here, this one, and probably these where the seat belts were, and I'd imagine those right there. They tend to let in emissions when you're not really driving a whole lot, when you're just kind of sitting idle. Because as you can see, the tailpipe is here, emissions come up and then travel all the way up into there. So, yeah, sitting in the Taco Bell drive-thru waiting on our order to get corrected about 50 times, you can start to smell the emissions coming through, and it's not really the best thing, especially when you don't have AC. It just gets a little hot. So I'd like to come out here and try and fix that. My guess right now is I'm just going to take a small piece of plastic and put it on the bottom and JB weld it, wait for that to cure and come out and just fill it in on the top and do it to that side and that side, because I don't have a use for those holes being there. Obviously they're not drain holes, because you know how would uphill water drain like that. So it's just something that I want to do to try and help out with the really just the conditioning in here, and obviously safety, because you don't want to pull a car in the garage trick. That's not fun. So yeah, that's the current state of this Jeep and where it sits. Hopefully one of the next big upgrades will be getting a bumper to go along here. That would be really nice. You know, we talked about considering re-gearing, but you know, having 410s and a Dana 30 with 33-inch tires with a stock transfer case, that's probably as good as it gets, because I don't really plan on doing any rock climbing, anything like that. You know, mall crawling and general off-road 4x4 is what this Jeep is going for right now. I mean, this is a daily driver, so yeah, I have some friends who have daily drivers that are a little more tricked out, but you know, this is more of a budget-ish build and hopefully on the safer side. Thank y'all again for the support. I know that a few of my friends in particular like to watch these videos, so I just want to give a shout out to y'all. Thanks for watching these and, you know, hitting that thumbs up, and, you know, y'all mean a lot to me, so thank y'all.